This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is proudly sponsored by yours truly, Matt Norn of Remax Bell Park Realty. For all of your real estate needs, residential and commercial, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Who's ready for the best podcast in my basement? Welcome to the Community Workbench. I am Matt Norn, and this is the sharpest cotton ball in the bag, Kyle Morrissey.
Right.
Every week we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and whoever else we feel like talking to. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with Two Dogs Coffee Shop, Brittany and Gwilym Clark. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Gwilym. How are you?
How's it going?
Good. So a lot has changed. Gwilym, you were on almost a year ago. You were like our third or fourth episode.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Episode 52 now.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had a journey. So
Yeah. It's been a lot, but it's been fun.
if you want to do like a little bit of a recap on how you even started roasting coffee and getting into that. I know it was a big part of your relationship in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And then, just kind of we'll get to the whole opening up a shop.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so when we were dating, we used to go to specialty coffee shops, roasters all the time, go get a cup of joe, try different origins, that sort of thing. COVID hit and all things changed for everyone. We weren't able to go to these coffee shops anymore, roasteries, because of all the mandates. So I said, screw it. I want to learn how to roast myself. I ordered some random beans off of Amazon, no idea where they were from. And I got a small 500-gram roaster called a Hucky. And I started roasting at our house, just trying it over and over again, giving it away to our friends. Then our friends started asking for it. Then they wanted to pay for it. Then they gave it to their friends who wanted to pay for it. We got invited to a dog-focused, rescue-focused event at a brewery in Northwood. Yeah, Northwood Brewing.
Brewery.
Yeah, and we had our first market there, and then didn't stop. So we just kept doing markets. I got a new job. We moved down to Connecticut. We met some cool people in the Chamber of Commerce, and then they asked if we wanted to open a shop, and now we have a shop. But it all happened pretty fast. Like when we really started in 21. So yeah, and then we started planning for the shop in 23. We talked about it, and then 24, we did it in like 4 months or something like that.
Yeah, wow. I remember that story kind of as it formulated the because I'm closer. I know Jay and Lindsay Barron really well.
Yeah.
They're awesome people, and he was just kind of like, "What about opening it up in 5 months instead of 5 years?"
Yeah, I was like, that's my 3 to 5 year plan. He's like, well, I have a space, so next year. Yeah.
And then, what was your official open date? June 24th. That's
June
right. It was my
24th.
birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you came in on your birthday. You were the first
And at
customer.
6 a.m. We love those open times.
Mhm.
It's when we actually don't have much to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, Brittany, you've been mainly running the shop, because Gwilym works full-time job during the day, so you kind of run the shop. How's that been going?
Yeah. It's been a labor of love, I think. Like
Okay.
neither of us knew anything about owning a coffee shop or running a coffee shop or licensing or permits or anything like that. So it was hard to figure out, but we figured it out. It was good.
Yeah. I think it was funny too, because when we initially talked about it, the scariest thing or what we thought was the biggest hurdle was financing,
Yeah.
right? Because we took out a decent chunk of change to launch it, but now looking back, that seems like the easiest part, right? Is like, well, have good credit, and then everything else. But like that was like sign, okay, here's the money, and then we're like, oh, crap, we got to do something with this money now, and we got to find a contractor, we got to find equipment, we got to get the right stuff, we got to coordinate all the logistics and stuff, and most of what I do is the roasting, right? So I roast at nights, like after the kids are bed, stuff like that. Sometimes on the weekend. And then, I get my nerdy visions about what I want the coffee to be or like the shop to be or the equipment. But all the other stuff, Britt ran with all of that. So, yeah, it made it a lot easier for me. I just kind of show up now at the shop and fumble behind the POS and make a couple coffees. Yeah, she does all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, I mean, before coffee, I worked in healthcare and I was in management leadership. And so when it came to like the hiring part, that came really easy. And that made it really easy when we, decided on the baristas and staff that we were hiring. And we've hired some amazing staff. They really make our shop so
Yeah.
special. Um, but yeah, the rest of it was just like, it was just like finding a piece of the puzzle and like just following to the next piece.
Mm.
I like to say that I'm like fairly well connected. Like I'm really good at like
Networking.
marketing and networking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's how we met Jay and Lindsay. We
Yeah.
met someone who made dinner for us at our house once, Grace Gourmet,
Yep.
and
Oh,
we talked to
nice.
her,
Yeah.
and she got us to join the Chamber of Commerce, and then we joined, and I dragged Gwilym to the meetings, and we met Jay and Lindsay, and joined
Yeah.
the Winnie Radio, and met more people, and so
Nice.
we just kind of like slowly interconnected and met all the right people.
And back to the staff, I love your meet the staff Mondays posts that you do. I think that really adds to it. Like, you know, definitely for the staff to feel like they're a part of something, not just
Yeah.
some of the worst
Oh, yeah.
bosses will say anybody's replaceable, but like you give them a real profile of who they are, and who they are makes their position different.
It does. And like it's so funny. Like we have, they work their specific shifts each week, but when they're not working, they're at the shop.
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
And in the beginning I was like, you guys don't have to like keep coming back. And they're like, no, we want to. Like we really like being here. Like I think all of them are there every day,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
For a small amount of time or a long amount of time off shift. And that just to us, we were like, wow, like we're doing something really special here where our staff like enjoy being here and want to be here on their off time. They bring their friends and their family in, and we you have to be careful with that whole toxic like we're all a family, because that can go one way or the other. But like we want our employees to enjoy working for us. We want them to enjoy serving the community and being a part of what we're creating here in our community.
Yeah.
So that is a big part of who we wanted as our staff.
Yeah.
Be part
Yeah.
of that.
One of the things we talked about too, which is super important to me and Britt, is like, we've had some. I'm employed now, and Britt works for the coffee shop and the online roasting and does all that. But we've both had not so good bosses. So one of the things that we said is we wanted to be the bosses that we wish we had when we were first getting our jobs or inside of our careers or taking the next step. And then when we approached the hiring process, we said, customer service, personality, like who they are as a person first, and then we could teach you any of the coffee stuff.
Right.
We have a couple baristas that had coffee experience, but we really focused on vetting them and like who they were because they represent us. But we also want it to be a really good atmosphere with them, right? And you can kind of see who would gel or not gel, but all the baristas are fantastic. And every time, the short amount of time I get to spend there, we learn something new about them or they bring a new skill set. The other Brittany, she works for us at the coffee shop. She's a librarian as well too, and she's helped us launch these book club Wednesdays and Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And she just friggin' runs with that thing.
Yeah.
Has such a good time.
Brittany's awesome. I've known her at the library
yeah.
forever. My family always goes to her for like research and stuff like that. And my daughter's definitely a book reader, like a couple hundred pages a day kind of book
Wow.
reader. So we always are looking for more books, and she's always can grab a few or put like 6 on order, and they're calling the house, hey, your book's in. And she's very like does really well with customers both at the library and there. And then it's only natural for her to start a book club for sure.
Yeah, it was cool too. And like one of our baristas came from the West Coast and was working out there, and then came over here and has really taken away with like introducing different syrups and making them on site.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
really
say,
let her,
syrup
Riley, she runs
specialist.
with that.
Yeah,
And
you guys
then,
do everything custom, right?
yeah, so
From scratch?
everything we're going all over the place, but yeah, everything at the shop, like we try and source within like a 30-minute window, I guess you would call it, around the shop, around our house.
Yeah.
So we get our pastries from the kitchen at New Boston Beef, all of our milk that comes from a cow. It's from the Woodstock Creamery. I wish there was an almond farm or an oat farm around here, but unfortunately we get that from somewhere else. Bagels from Bagel One. Our syrups, we make all the ones that we can make in-house.
Yeah.
We work with a chocolate vendor that was friends with us up in New Hampshire when our roasting business was up there. And so now we're carrying some of their chocolate bars and stuff. But yeah.
That's Loon, right?
Yeah, really
Yeah,
good.
that's
And they're I hope I don't get this wrong. So there's a chocolatier and a chocolate maker. One just uses chocolate. The other does it like soup to nuts, like takes the cacao and makes it into a chocolate base and does all that. They're that one. So they source it all themselves. They make it all from the bottom up, which
Yeah.
I really love because we're the same way about our coffee, right? We source
Yeah.
all the beans. We do all the roasting, profiling, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a chocolatier is somebody who makes like
It looks pretty.
sculptures and
Yeah, it's like the artsy side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything to me when you say you're a small business and you're sourcing local as much as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And like you said, there are just some things that aren't local, and that's fine, But it just that to me is like just like I want to go get coffee from you all the time now because I know the money
It's
is
going back in the community.
going to a small business like yourself and a family run and owned business, and then you're also purchasing from other small family businesses that are right in our area. I mean, that you can't ask for anything more for someone to, and the product is made. We're drinking it right now.
Yeah. Decaf though, right now.
Yeah, decaf. It's the evening, So I cold brewed this over the weekend and made it extra rich, as you say, a full concentrate.
good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I don't water it down anymore.
It's cool about the cold brew as well too, because you can use the concentrate in mixed drinks and stuff. So we have that restaurant,
Hanks.
Hanks.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. So they're
Oh,
using our
nice.
cold brew for their espresso martinis now.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, can I ask, like, how many gallons are you going through, or is that measurement like is it how many beans or?
Yeah. So as far as espresso, we're probably doing like 5.5 pounds of espresso per day.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot, but I don't know, maybe it is, but 5.5 pounds of espresso per day during the week, and then probably close to 10 on Saturdays and Sundays when it's busy. Then we're batching 2 or 3 batches of cold brew, which is another probably like 15 pounds total a week of coffee for that. And then we always have a drip on. That's like 10% of our coffee, probably 5 or 10% is drip. So that's probably another like 5 pounds a week, something 6 pounds a week. So
Now with the drip, do you just stick to one flavor, or do you cycle through them?
no, we just swap them out.
Yeah.
Dark
Whatever we
roast.
have available.
Yeah. Sometimes that's true. True. So that's on me. I'm learning all these new volumes and stuff here because we also roast for the markets too, and I try
Right.
and send them off with 100, 150 bags of coffee per
wow.
market.
Wow.
So that's like another 80 pounds of coffee or something like that. 70 pounds. Yeah, about that
Yeah.
much.
Plus your online presence, which
Yep.
is
Yep.
why you were here the first time
Yep.
when that had been
Yeah.
launched. Or
The
was
beginning of
already
the month
going.
is always very busy.
Yeah,
That's
because
when
all our
of
subscriptions.
go
Yeah.
out. So-
okay.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of
Gotcha.
people that subscribe to our 5-pound bag. So we have people that get 5 pounds a month. Like they'll have a espresso or dark roast.
Yeah.
Medium.
That's
They get a
that's
5
the
pound whole
big
bean
one I
five
saw
pound.
at the
Black one.
bottom of your because I go to the shop now
Yeah.
to buy mine,
Yeah.
and the bottom shelf had this
Yeah.
enormous bag
Yeah.
of espresso. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
and that's what that person takes every
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
Shout
have,
out to
like-
Chris.
Yeah.
He did our floors. He's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we have probably like 3 or 4 people that subscribe to the 5-pound bags, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But-
And we drink a lot of coffee. Well, I probably drink way more than you.
Yeah, I don't drink as much anymore.
But yeah, like a 5-pounder by yourself, that's an intense person. They're bouncing off the walls with that.
Yeah.
How long's that gonna last you?
So
For
they
one
get it
person.
once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Once
guy
every
gets it
30
once a
days.
month.
Oh my
I've seen it.
But they don't
I
do that.
had his name on it, like at the bottom shelf. It was this huge,
I've
Yeah.
seen the bag.
5
yeah.
pounds of
Those are the-
potatoes is
Yeah,
kind
I
of
was
close
like,
to
oh,
the same
that's
size.
new. Well, that's gigantic.
Actually, I meant to say it's not that much. You could do 10 pounds.
That's funny.
So-
That's a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I switch up the flavors now and then, and also I'll buy the smaller ones so it doesn't seem like I'm going through a lot of coffee. But-
We don't judge.
Quite a few,
No.
5-pound bag.
No.
quite a few cups in the morning and afternoon for me. And and then sometimes if I go out, I'll grab one too.
Yes.
Now, is he making espresso drinks, or is he just grinding it and drinking it?
They do. They have an espresso machine.
Yeah.
So they do espresso drinks, and then they do like some people will also switch it up and do like a cold brew.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
they buy the beans.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't have too many people that buy it pre-ground.
No, that would really break my heart.
We do have some. We do have some of our
Well,
local
Daigle
farms.
Farm does.
Yeah, Daigle Farm.
But he drinks a lot too, so I don't feel as bad. He's pounding that stuff.
I mean,
does,
if you pre-grind 5 pounds of coffee,
Yeah.
you're gonna be drinking it quite a
Yeah,
bit.
Yeah, that's another local place we work with too.
Oh,
is
yeah,
Daigle
they're the
Farm.
best.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there, they're awesome, and they're branching out doing all these different things. We just did their dinner invite thing. I forget
Yeah.
what it was called. But we sell our coffee to them, and they put it in their breakfast baskets that they send out on like Sundays.
Oh, nice.
So you get whatever produce or meat that the farm has, plus bread that they bake on site, and then a bag of our coffee, that sort of stuff. And then he's addicted to it, so he's buying coffee just to drink himself as well too. So he gets a 5-pounder. But
Nice.
they're super awesome people too.
Yeah, he does a podcast too about.
Yeah,
food,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah. I'd love to have him on.
Oh, you
If
should.
you're listening,
You
I,
should.
I want to say
You guys could have both your podcasts on at the same time and be podcasting the podcast,
Oh,
right?
that is
Collab.
true. We have someone coming on
Halloween or the
next
29th.
Yeah, 29th, and they do like a
29th.
haunting podcast.
Oh, okay.
And we met them, and
So we're doing our Halloween special with
Yeah.
them
so we were trying to figure out ways to
That's
do that,
nice.
to have both,
to
but
try and stream on
it's,
both platforms
yeah.
at the same time.
very tech heavy.
Yeah.
to try and figure that
Yeah, that would be cool.
out. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we definitely love. More podcasters, more people that do shows. To me, just like the more the merrier, and to really have this local infusion. Plus, I mean, we learned a lot from those guys, from
Oh,
the
yeah.
Brown Brothers alone. So anyone else that's trying to get through this industry, I mean, there's
Podcasting?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah, we
like-
may be reaching out too. So
All right,
Yeah.
yeah. There's like thousands of just microphones.
Like,
Yeah.
this
Like,
one looks
Yeah.
good.
Or just the setting that fixes your
Yeah.
microphone.
and price ranges. So I was on. We were looking at doing some upgrades, but we ended up calling the tech, and he was able to help us learn how to use this stuff
Yeah.
in a better way.
there's
But
probably diminishing returns too, right? Like you spend $100 and it's like this good. You spend $1,000 and it's only like meh, just a little bit better.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I do know that they have because I was actually looking on Sweetwater, and I put most expensive to least expensive, and they have a podcasting kit that is $25,000. It's
That's
like
insane.
comes with everything though.
You
Hopefully
better
put it
sound pretty
together.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
What if you have a bad voice?
and already have sponsorship.
Oh man,
so maybe Sweetwater wants to sponsor us.
Yeah.
I love all this. We're talking about like small businesses and us and podcasting. I love all this entrepreneurial stuff too.
Yeah.
Like because this is us first becoming entrepreneurs. Because I've always worked for the man, up until then. But I love it. The people we meet, the communities,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. And she helps me out. Britt helps me out so much too with the networking stuff. I'm like the little kid at the middle school dance who stands on the outside drinking the punch
Oh, that's
until
me
she like
too.
drags me in, and I'm like, oh, good.
That's me too. And then the mayor, or skipper, everywhere we go, is talking to everybody. I'm like, I'd like to just crawl into a closet right now.
Yeah, I'm good once the conversation is going, but I'm like, nothing comes out of it.
We'll teach you some icebreakers.
Yeah. And it's so funny too, because my job, like I do continuous improvement and that strategy stuff. I have to facilitate events all the time, and I'm really good at that at work. But outside of work, I'm like,
That's probably why you're not good at it outside of work.
maybe
You
it
don't want
is.
to do it.
Yeah, it's
Where
different.
they have to listen to
Well,
me at
there's
work. so-
far.
Yeah.
I feel like too. There's like far more. Like you almost feel so obligated, right? They're paying you. This is your job. You do.
yeah.
Where yes, it's still your job as running this business, but it's different, right? There's
Right.
you are your own boss, and
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
happens.
You can kind of
happens. Yeah.
decide if you want to go out on out of your comfort zone or
Right.
not. And that, as a small business owner myself, even when I was contracting, it was kind of like, okay, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
And that was like one of the biggest things you can do. unless you want to go hide behind a
Yeah.
computer. Like
I'll let you be. You're not uncomfortable anymore. I'll let you be comfortable. Go and talk to everybody.
It's true though, right? Because the whole point of these, like we're part of Northeast Connecticut Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
We joined the Killingly Business Association as well too, and the whole point is to network to figure out, how you can have mutually beneficial business relationships to work
Right.
together and like expand your business or help them out and that sort of stuff. And like if we hadn't gone to the Northeast Chamber, we never would have met Jay and Lindsay. We wouldn't have been in the coffee shop that we're in right now.
Back it up. If I hadn't have planned a birthday dinner.
Oh yes, it was a
for
good
us,
dinner too.
We had just moved to Connecticut. What was it?
September.
September 2nd, and we had our second son October 4th, and then we have the same birthday, so our birthday's October 23rd.
That's cool.
Yep.
And
Whoa.
so we had someone over for dinner that made dinner for us at the house because we had just had a baby, so we weren't going anywhere. And so she made dinner for us, and then that's how we got into the chamber.
Yeah,
Met people.
she told us to go. Yeah, she found out we like roasted and sold.
This was like a private chef that you can call and they'll come and cook.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, I've had
Oh.
her sushi.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
she came right to our
Oh, wow.
house and cooked us. She said, "Hey, what do you want for dinner? Like, here are some ideas." And she came to our house, had it all set up, had like candles, brought all the plates and like everything.
Mhm.
Made dinner in our kitchen. We just sat and relaxed. My
Yep.
sister had the kids upstairs, and we
Wow.
just got to have a
Yeah.
nice dinner.
Now, did she clean up?
She did.
Wow.
She
Yeah.
did. She did
That's-
the dishes.
And you're at
Jeez.
your house, so you can get as drunk as you want. You don't have to drive.
Yeah.
Great.
I will say it's impossible to find an Uber around this part of Connecticut.
Yeah.
Have her come back.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, she catered a smaller event that Northeast Flooring had thrown for, I don't know. I think it was our office. I don't think there was any. There was like our office and maybe a couple of lenders that came and they were talking about Northeast Flooring's all their like new upgrades and stuff like that. And but yeah, we all sat around their makeshift kitchen island and she just served it up and it was amazing sushi.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the most part, it was all sushi. So
I think she made us
It was
lamb.
really good.
Was it lamb?
Yeah.
oh
It
wow,
was lamb.
Yeah.
It was so good.
wow.
Yeah, it was really good.
Sometimes lamb's tough to make good.
Yeah. Yeah, she did great. But yeah, we that from there we met the chamber people and I think something that you said like really important and something that mostly me have really had to like hone in on is that like you aren't going to grow if you're not uncomfortable. And
Yeah,
right.
I'm uncomfortable a lot.
Like right now.
Like right now. I'm so nervous to come
You're
on.
doing so good.
I talk to people all day, but coming on something like this is like definitely out of my comfort zone and a lot throughout like the coffee process, just like trying to fill out the paperwork for the Department of Health in the
Oh, yeah.
town. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God. It's
Yeah.
awful. And I had to like call people and get on the phone. You couldn't just email and all these things. And so, being uncomfortable has been kind of like my everyday thing, just learning how to be uncomfortable and like make decisions or have conversations or, when we're trying to figure out like, we've had to source some things from Cisco and when we were working with them for like our oat milk and stuff,
Right.
trying to like negotiate our contracts and expectations. Like that's all stuff that like I'm not used to and not comfortable doing, but you have to do it.
Right.
Well, how do you do that starting out?
Oh.
Right, not even knowing like the day I saw you and you were walking in with a milk and you guys had run out of this
the
and
milk.
you're waiting for it to like how do you even negotiate something when you have no idea what you're gonna need?
I know. Well, see, that was the thing with them too.
She's just awesome.
Oh, yeah. No, I go home and I usually like cry or something. 'Cause I was like, you gotta go back and do this tomorrow, Brittany. Get it together. And somehow I do. No, but like with Cisco, it was funny. I met the Cisco guy, I think at like Staples or something. He heard me talking to them about the flyers I had bought from Staples, and he was like, "Oh, I'm the Cisco rep." So we had a meeting, and when we were talking about setting things up, I was like, "Yeah, we work with local businesses for pastries and all this stuff. So like, I'm not interested in any of the frozen, like reheatable stuff. But like oat milk, holy crap!
Yeah.
Like
We go through a ton.
I highly underestimated the amount of oat milk and decaf and what's the other, like one other thing that we go through
Milk.
every single
Creamer.
day.
Or-
We go through a lot of milk too.
Milk.
Oh, we go
Yeah.
through a ton of milk.
I just
before.
want
I
to
like
make
how
it
you're saying
clear.
that.
Milk.
That's what you have to call it.
Milk,
Milk
milk,
or oat
Moo.
milk or
The,
almond. No, milk.
the no cow. Oh wow, no,
No
cow.
cow.
Is
No
what it
cow.
says.
No cow.
Oh wow, no cow. But yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, we can get you all this stuff," and I was like, "Okay, great. How does this work?" And so you have to get approved. You have to like share your, they pull your credit and everything, and because we're a new business, they do it based off the business, and so they're like, "Okay, well we can set you up, and your payment terms is like 2 days." So when you have a delivery, you have to pay them the full payment in 2 days. But
Oh.
the minimum you have to purchase is 15 cases of whatever.
What is
So
it,
like,
4 in a case?
well, you can get like 2 cases of oat milk. You can get 2 cases of almond milk. You can get, brown sugar. You can get forks. You have to have
Oh.
15 boxes
Yeah.
basically
Of their volume
of
of boxes.
whatever
Yeah.
you're getting. And one, that's a lot to
Yeah.
pay for, especially a new business who hadn't even opened yet. Two, like, we don't have the storage for all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Either.
We're a little under 800 square feet, right?
Yeah, like we're 785.
So we make it work really well, but
I mean,
they're like, hey, you need 15 boxes, and the box is this big, and it's this much cash outlay, So
We just had like 72 boxes of oat milk delivered the other day. And we're like, okay, where are we going to put it all? But we go through
but
it.
it's
so
shelf,
we
Right.
need to
shelf
have-
stable.
It's shelf
Yeah,
stable.
Yeah.
not the milk.
No,
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 not
the
You
oat
the
get
milk.
you get the milk
Like it's
fresh once
Priority,
a week.
priority space in the fridge.
Yeah, exactly. But
Well, I mean, I've been there plenty of times. I've never had you guys say, "Oh, we're out of that."
oh, that's
You know,
good.
so
Haven't been there on a Sunday.
Yeah, Saturdays are pretty crazy. I was there this Saturday, and we had 2 baristas on, and I was basically just running the POS, the register, the whole time. And I think we had like 130 tickets that day, but we did like 80 tickets by like 10 o'clock. What ticket is like a transaction?
Yeah.
And we open at 7
Yep.
on Saturdays. Yeah. So we were rocking and rolling from like 9 on, just boop, all the way through the day.
okay, maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I should
Not
know
maybe,
this.
but yes.
Maybe I should know this, but this is the second time you referred to it as a POS. The first time I thought you were trying not to swear.
Oh, no.
Point
Point
of
of sale.
sale.
Point of sale.
You never worked in the retail world?
Nope.
Ever?
Nope.
Sorry, yeah. It's definitely not a piece of I'd say POP. I was talking piece of poop.
Well,
Is it witching? I don't know if we can swear if it's past witching hour yet.
we try to keep it PG-13 or cleaner.
So 1 swear per. All right.
Yeah.
I'm saving that
And-
not for that.
And
I'm
we
saving
really
that
appreciate
way
not
cooler.
the F-bomb.
No, we have little kids, so we have to be careful anyways.
Yeah.
I got the earmuffs on.
You never know when they're going to be on YouTube, and all of a sudden they
Dad,
just
what?
stumble across this
Yeah.
podcast.
Right.
You never know.
What was it the other day? We were driving and someone cut me off or something. I don't know. Someone did something, and our younger son, he just turned 3, says the F-bomb.
Yeah.
He goes that and then says lady. And I was like, well, just looks at me and goes, that's from you.
That's every
you know what?
parent's reaction, though, to
What
look
if-
at each other and then try and think about
We were like,
who
did he
said it,
just
and
say
that's
that?
how
We were
they
like, did he just say that? And he said it again. I was like, oh yeah, he said that.
Okay. First of all, I think it's great that he's expanding his vocabulary. Second of all, the context was perfect. So if he's gonna use it, don't
Yeah.
just randomly use it talking about a toy or something like that. I'd be like, yeah, you're right, Elliot.
He's picking up on stuff.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, we've had. I mean, I think every kid goes through that. They're gonna experiment one way or another.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think whether you said it or someone else said it, and they're
Yep.
when
We did
you-
the birthday one.
Well, we have a rule.
Yeah.
We have a rule. So our oldest son, and I guess Elliot's going to get lumped into that now. He just chose a different day to do it. But our oldest son, we allow him to say 1 swear on his birthday. That's just like one time that he can say a swear word
And not get in trouble.
and not get in trouble.
How long does he think about it?
I,
I think he was planning this one
Yeah.
This
like
is gonna
all
be good.
year.
This is gonna be good.
Mom, how many more days till my birthday?
That's
It's
like,
like, not till May.
And you got to keep a straight face too, because you can't laugh, because then they think it's funny,
Right.
which it is really funny.
Yeah. A
But,
couple of times I've told like my kids when we're outside or hiking or whatever, and it's just us. Like you
Yeah.
just kind of give them that freedom. Like you want to say something, say it. And They never really take it. They actually will bust on us for accidentally swearing more than they even want to swear.
Yeah.
They're like, "What are you doing?" Swearing. Yeah, so they're good role models for us.
I'm glad somebody is.
I can't depend on you anymore.
No, that's very evident.
He's just over there quietly watching.
Yeah, I just sit in the background and wait.
Yeah. So back to the shop. I love the vibe. It's definitely sit and read a book, sit and work, sit and try all the coffees on the menu. I haven't done that yet, but I'm waiting for that day. I mean, you guys must have usuals by now.
Yeah.
And that's any crazy characters? Anyone like?
Oh.
No, well, I'm not there as much, so you could probably speak to it more than
I was
me.
gonna say you wouldn't know.
I think in the weekend.
I've seen him twice now in the
Yeah.
last 2 times I've been
Hey,
there.
Yeah, it's on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm usually dropping off coffee. No, actually, I'm probably the first or second customer every day because I come in before I go to work and grab like a latte real quick. That's the best part of having a
Yeah, he'll
coffee
text
shop.
the baristas, "Hey, maple latte, oat milk."
Yeah. Avery, can you get
Text
me a
you.
maple latte?
Shouldn't you mobile order?
Then I gotta pay for it. What's the point of owning it if I have to pay for it?
They'll
This
mess
is-
with him though, because he's dairy free,
Yeah.
so he can't have it. So they'll put like, "Can't remember if I put oat milk in."
Yeah. So I'm like nervously drinking
Yeah.
my latte, my hour.
You may
commute.
find out before you
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah, I think the weekends are so busy there's not an opportunity for like a crazy character to come in or something like that. Everyone seems pretty cool. All of our customers have been really nice. Like
Yeah.
we haven't had anybody rude. Like
Nice.
I don't know, we're so awesome that there isn't an opportunity to be rude, but we haven't had anyone like that.
I think that goes to speak though to who you hire too, right?
Yeah.
Because what you guys put out there is what you're gonna get back.
Yeah,
You know.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you guys are out of, well, not you in particular. A lot of people were out of decaf for how long,
Yeah.
right? Because they just didn't have it.
yeah.
And so I'm sure there are a lot of people that came in looking
Yeah.
for it.
Are you allowed to touch on that situation? Like what happened? Like
Yeah, well, with the decaf, that was directly related to the bridge issue in Maryland.
oh, okay.
Yeah, there was two things, right? So there's a
Yeah.
delay in the shipping supply,
Right.
and then the FDA released this article
Oh,
that
yes,
talked
yeah.
about one of the chemicals used in chemically processed decaffeinated coffees. So you can use, don't ask me the chemical, but you can chemically decaffeinate coffee
Yeah.
beans in a green bean state. And then you can do a natural process, which uses like water and carbon filtration and like a bath. Basically, they wash the coffee through and it pulls out the caffeine, and then they rewash it in that same water to like enhance the flavor. So that's the coffee we were buying because we bought nothing with any chemicals or anything like that.
Right, right.
So the second that article came out, all the specialty coffee shops and roasters like went crazy, and they're all buying this coffee from basically like two countries, Mexico, and I think it was like a Colombian decaf, and they do them two different ways. So our Mexican coffee is like whoop, just totally gone.
Yeah.
So she
Because
was
everybody-
hunting on the
That was-
website
Because
like,
everybody
Oh
else
my
wanted
gosh.
that now because it
Yeah.
was the one that didn't have a chemical.
yeah, it's more expensive than the chemically decaffeinated stuff, but I bought it because
Well, we didn't do decaf for like a really
Yeah.
long time, and that was because we didn't want to use the chemically processed decaf, and
Yeah.
we weren't interested. And so we've found the mountain water processed, and once we found that, that was just what we stuck with. And
Yeah.
then
and it tastes
had it
good.
for maybe like a year and a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah,
We've
it's
had
delicious.
decaf a year and a half, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of the decaf you get out there, honestly, I think because it's usually a commodity coffee, so you can get it way cheaper because it's grown on these huge coffee farms. It's not shade grown, which means it doesn't get all the enhanced flavors from the flora fauna around it. And they chemically decaffeinate it, so it's basically just like cardboard. It's
Oh.
like most people are gonna have decaf.
Well,
they drown it
yeah.
in milk or flavors or syrups or something like that.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
like this, I'm drinking it black. This is our decaf as cold
Yeah.
brew, and it still has really good.
so that's the
nutty
assumption.
flavor.
When somebody has decaf, they just want it all watered down in garbage.
I haven't had a decaf other than like the higher end, like higher cup score coffees that we buy that has been good because they're probably buying it as commodity. Like for us, less than 1% of what we sell in the shop at the cafe is decaf, and we do it as a decaf espresso. So we grind it on demand for them.
Right. Right.
So if you think about like a coffee shop and they're trying to be profitable, they're like, well, why am I going to put any quality into this thing that I make once every 100 drinks? I'm just going to buy whatever I can buy. And to us, because quality is so important, that's not the approach that we take.
Well, that was actually one of the things I asked I think it's like your head barista was
Riley.
if you guys were gonna have a separate grinder for decaf
Yeah.
because it's like wildly inefficient
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
right. I don't. Did you put one in?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
see.
We have a Turin DF83, which is a 80 millimeter single-use coffee grinder. It's like a prosumer,
Yeah.
something you would have at your house, but it's perfect for single shots of espresso.
Oh, okay.
So we have one for our espresso. We have another grinder for all of our drip brews and like bulk brews.
Or if you buy a bag of beans and you
Yeah.
want it ground, we can grind it right there.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then we now have a single-use decaf espresso only grinder, and that's all that goes in it is decaf espresso.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when we hit 2 o'clock, actually like noon, we got to turn to
For you.
decaf.
I've been creeping up 3, 4 o'clock.
Actually, we're drinking it now, and
Well, this is decaf, so
You wouldn't be sleeping if this was.
it's all right.
as a,
Call
like,
out of work tomorrow.
One time we were having a coffee roaster on, and you were like, "I'll just go to work after the podcast. Start the day then."
Why not?
Yeah. So we've had quite a few coffee roasters and cafes on. We're pretty addicted to
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good thing too. Like
Yeah.
we weren't gonna get into it, but we know there's a lot of coffee shops. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's more coffee shops now than there were 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And people still come and ask us about that. And my approach is like 50% of the American population drinks coffee.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one dude down the street is not going to upset us.
Yeah.
Or someone, another roaster who sells it online or goes to markets. I'm all for that.
Well, and,
Right.
and they're almost always going to be a different vibe in the
Yeah.
shop,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Different flavor type of coffee based on
Yeah.
how they roast,
Yep.
right? And so everybody's gonna like something different. They may like everybody, and you buy it from everybody, or you
That's
may
me.
not.
And as much as you want, like, to be the only person where, everyone goes to, like, at the same time, there's something to say where you're creating different spaces for your community. And
Yeah.
when people come in and like, oh, your competition. I'm like, our competition is ourselves.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
if we're always focused on us and what we're doing and what we're providing to the customer, like, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Because we provide a service here and a specific type of setup here, and he offers a different setup. And like, how awesome is it that our community gets options?
Right.
And I
Right.
think that
Oh,
that is
yeah.
really good for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want a burger. Sometimes you want steak. Sometimes you want pizza.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I go to Providence, I go to Providence for work, and I love going and finding a new coffee shop to try out. Like, what roast do they have? How are they making their espresso? What are their lattes like? I love doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say they're maybe not as good as ours all the time, but it's fun for me to go out there and try.
we won't say you're biased. But
But you also make it to your palate. You're tasting
Yeah,
it
that's
as
right.
you're
Yeah.
roasting, and that's you're actually making it to what you would want.
Yeah.
So, and that's like one question I did when I designed this platform was, is this a podcast that I would listen to?
Yeah.
And I really wasn't sure until I started listening to it. I was like, oh, yeah, because for me, I don't get all the information just by having this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of it's kind of blurry because we have a lot going on over.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle does, and sometimes
yeah, you don't have much
Sometimes-
going. Maybe up here you do. That's about
but yeah, it's you kind of tailor it to what you would want, and hopefully there's other people out there that do. And to me, it seems pretty obvious ordering 72 gallons of milk. I mean,
Oh my.
people are liking your product, you
Yeah.
know.
That's crazy.
And
I think it's interesting too, right? Because I have a long commute, so I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff like that, and like philosophical stuff. But the approach between, do we want to make something that we love and just be hyper passionate about it and hope other people are into it too, or do we just like serve the masses and make everything that everybody wants? And I think you kind of have to balance it, because if we just made what everyone wants, then it'd be just another like a industrial coffee business that serves a billion different syrups and all these different things, and that's totally not what we want.
right.
But we can't just make only what Gwilym wants, because I would never grind any coffee to sell at markets. I wouldn't grind it to sell it to online people. I would only have espresso. It'd be like really traditional, but that's not going to work for everyone.
right.
So our focus really is like super high quality, super great customer service. We have 100% satisfaction guarantee on our roasting business. We do the same with the shop. Like, if you don't like it, we'll replace it. No questions asked. I don't know, 15,000, 20,000 bags, something like that. I've never had a single one returned. I've never had anyone ask for their money back. I've never had that, and I'm totally for it. Like if you don't like it and there's one bean left, dude, I'll get you your money or I'll get you a new bag. So we take that approach to the coffee
That's
shop too.
awesome.
So
And
Well,
bold.
they give us an empty bag back. I don't know.
nah, that's one bag. That's one bag.
Yeah, but it's a great motto to have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have a lot of, I don't want to say standard drinks, but right, you have
Yeah.
lattes with everything, but you make everything custom with your syrups.
Yep.
Mhm.
I had that poison apple chai.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh,
It's a
that
good
was
one.
yeah, that was fantastic.
That's really good.
But like every season, right? You roll out your own type of
Yeah.
drinks that are going to be different from
Yeah.
all the
Yep.
you
The
know,
Northeast
the
attitude.
big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And-
we find that we're trying to keep it a bit more limited than just like overwhelming amount of choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Because the traditionals are so good. I roast our espresso lighter than a traditional Italian espresso roast, which is typically pretty dark on the edge of oily to black, right? So ours is lighter than that. So it's much sweeter. So it'll cut through milk really well and still be sweet. So just our straight latte, if you've never had it with just milk and espresso, is really, really good. Then everything else we kind of build on from that. And then the girls, the baristas and Britt, are experimenting with other things too, like the poison apple, which is really good. And I love the dirty chai, so chai with an espresso
Yeah.
shot. So the poison apple with espresso shot is fantastic.
Yeah, I've never done a dirty chai.
Really
I've
good.
always actually been a little scared of it. But
You just got to
Maybe-
jump
there at
in.
Maybe
6
I'll
in the
do it.
morning.
Just got to jump in.
I don't know if I've ever done a chai anything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
What
I
is
never
that?
tried
What does
chai.
that mean? Like, what are you putting in chai? Or
Yeah,
what-
so chai
what makes
is
it chai?
yeah, so it's from
Chai
India.
tea.
It means tea.
Yeah.
So chai means tea. Don't-
black tea, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So black tea usually like
We have
tea
like a
tips, the
masala.
tip of
Yeah.
leaf, and ours is a masala
Masala
chai. So
chai.
those have ginger, clove, I think nutmeg, a couple other spices, cinnamon, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
I've done dark tea before. I didn't
Yeah.
know that was a chai.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
it's
It's a
yeah.
specific type
Just
of
because
spices
it's
in it.
dark doesn't make it a chai.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so then
like
It's the
I-
spices.
you can taste. Yeah, you can taste the spice.
When you
in it.
come in next
All
week,
right.
get a
Yeah.
taster.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
get one.
Let's get a
I'll
taste test.
Yeah.
I'll get one.
We'll start with the poison apple. I
I-
still have
I-
it. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try anything.
Yeah.
It's funny though, the chai, I was so scared to do tea because I don't know anything about tea. And we were talking about it. People were like, do you have chai? Do you have this? I was like, oh, matcha? I was like, I don't know anything about matcha. And that was another thing. Like we had to learn about matcha and like you have to have a special whisk. We do like the ceremonial matcha. So it's like a special like powder and
Yeah.
Yeah.
you like have to whisk it really fast. And like there's a whole process where I was like, I don't know anything about any of this.
Matcha's great.
Oh, it's so,
Oh.
I'd never had it before.
Oh.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
It's
Yeah.
that's a
So
great
good.
So
afternoon drink.
matcha is tea. Like
Green
tea.
tea.
Green
Green
tea.
tea.
Okay.
Green. Yeah, but it's like
It's like desiccated
Yeah.
basically, where it's the leaves are completely ground out, dried out, and then ground into like a really fine powder.
Yep.
So if you don't prepare it right, it can be kind of chalky.
Okay.
And then a lot of matcha has like super earthy, grassy taste.
yeah,
So we use
they're
a,
sweet.
yeah,
too.
we use a slightly sweetened matcha,
Yeah.
which I think is more palatable for everyone. We're not like the extreme matcha end, but I like it, and it's cool. So if you're into any of the like nootropic stuff, green tea and matcha, it has L-theanine in it, which helps like reduce your stress levels. So caffeine plus L-theanine, like super dialed in, focused.
It's a good
stuff.
afternoon beverage.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys do dirty matchas? Is that even a thing?
We're about to.
Yeah, oh, yeah, no, yeah.
No, it's-
Matcha latte with espresso. I've
Yeah.
had that before. It's
Oh, okay.
pretty intense.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I'd have that.
Yeah.
I don't think I like calling espresso a dirty drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder who came up with that.
Yeah. Not me. I just.
Yeah. You have
It's
to-
just fun to see.
You have to conform, right?
Yeah.
For, at least for a while,
Yeah.
until you start to create your own, and then you have like the unique and people next year come back and say, "Hey, when are you bringing back the poisoned apple, or when are you bringing back this, or you know?"
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
You guys are gonna have like release dates like Hollywood movies.
Yeah. Wait till.
well, you do. It's like the first of the month, right?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, we've kept the same menu except for like we've changed out one or two because pumpkin season. Like we didn't want to start it early. We didn't start it before. Was it September 1st?
Yeah.
That
We
was
said
when we
no
started.
to early pumpkin.
Yep. So September 1st was pumpkin, and that one will go through till November.
Ah,
So we'll have that one. until
Oh,
I
November.
had
in
it.
November.
I've been drinking eggnog for a month and a half. I just told them.
I know.
Are you guys now eggnog's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you guys going to try and do something with eggnog?
You know what's so funny? I was just talking to Riley about eggnog because I was like, I love eggnog.
Oh,
It's so
eggnog
good.
latte.
The nog of the egg is literally the best part.
And
of
you
the egg.
could make homemade eggnog, but then you have to. The thing with eggnog is you have to put like a special signage saying if 'cause
Oh,
it's
yeah,
raw eggs.
Yeah, if you do homemade egg, yeah, I mean,
And where are you
if-
getting the eggs
it's
from?
sometimes you don't want to see how something's made. You just like
Yeah.
the end
Yeah.
product.
Mhm.
But yeah, eggnog lattes. We make them at home all the time.
I will say a few years ago, our wives went to some market thing.
Yeah, it
the
was
Golden Lamb,
Yeah,
and they brought home
Well, it wasn't-
eggnog flavored coffee.
correct. It's not the golden lamb. It was
It wasn't the Golden Lamb then. It was its predecessor. Did I say that right?
no
Post.
post. Yeah, predecessor would be before. It's not
Before, yeah,
after.
so-
Like
Yeah,
in the
precept,
coffee,
yeah.
in the coffee beans. You're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was
like eggnog,
coffee
like
beans.
hazelnut
Oh,
flavor, but it was
okay.
like
And they were
eggnog.
already
Yeah.
ground.
Yeah.
So
That was good.
Oh man!
but it was
But-
good. It did
but-
make like it was like a festive
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, any type of, or I'll do a breve, so
Yep.
half eggnog and half, like it make the coffee extra strong. Yeah.
Mm.
Cool.
You guys don't carry half and half though, right?
No.
Cream, I should
No.
say, to make breve.
We don't have any space for it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna- yeah,
Oh
and
my
that
gosh.
that makes complete sense
Yeah.
now.
But-
After,
But the amount of the milk that we get from the Woodstock
just gonna
Creamery
say.
is
It's
Yeah.
very thick.
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
to when we first get it and we're like opening it up, you have to like really shake it because all the fat kind of comes
Yeah.
to the top,
that's
Yeah.
and you have to like
yeah.
shake it up. So
We were just
sometimes-
gonna get a cow on site.
I know.
I'm the space of the same thing.
Go through
So
like
Yeah.
25 to 30 gallons of whole milk a week. It's insane.
Yeah.
that makes sense though, because all of your drinks are so creamy.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the
incredible.
milk makes a huge difference, especially in espresso drink.
So like when someone orders like a regular cream, do
I
you
ju-
actually dial that back a little bit because it's so?
No.
I just
No.
tell them we only use whole milk, and I'll just say, "Do you want a little or a lot?"
Yeah.
a lot.
No one's like got mad about it though. I just basically say I'm like, we don't have cream. We carry milk from the Woodstock Creamery, and it's like full fat, straight
Yeah.
from the cow. Right?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mhm.
I promise you'll like it, and no one said anything else.
No,
As soon as I heard that it was coming from Woodstock Creamery, I've had their milk
Mm.
before. That's one.
They're awesome
purchase
too.
when we can.
Yeah, local businesses, they're always rocking too. When you can go grab the milk, I've gone a couple times too, and the girls out front are always rocking and rolling.
Oh, you pick the milk up yourself?
Oh yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So I actually met Angela, the owner of the creamery, when we moved to Connecticut. I joined the local moms club to meet people because we didn't know anyone, and I met her. She was part of the moms club. So when we were opening the shop, I texted her and I was like, "Hey, like, do you do wholesale, milk? Because we'd love to carry it." And so that just kind of blossomed that relationship, and we drive there every week and pick up coffee once or twice a week, probably at this point.
Yeah.
Going on 3 times a week because we can only hold so many gallons of coffee. I mean, milk in
That's
our
hard, yeah.
refrigerators. Yeah.
That's tough.
The milk pipeline delivered from Woodstock to our shop, right?
Yeah. Don't tell anybody. You don't
Yeah.
want to get hijacked.
I think they do an eggnog milk.
Well, I won't say where I worked when I was in my early 20s, but we used to do a light and a regular. And so we would split half. It would be 1% an eggnog, and you would mix them for half. And so they called it eggnog light. So it was
Yeah.
like-
Because eggnog is pretty thick.
oh my
Oh, yeah.
gosh,
Oh,
yeah.
so
But
Especially
it's
if
so
you
good.
get-
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I tried to convince everybody not to do that because it was way better regular.
There's only one brand allowed in this house. That was a rule before Kayla and I were even together.
This is the only
that-
eggnog we get.
and that and she's actually made homemade ice cream out of it before.
Eggnog.
Really?
ice cream.
Yeah,
Really?
eggnog ice cream, and she actually puts homemade brownies in it too. So
Oh
it's
my God.
homemade
Yeah.
eggnog ice cream.
That
is
sounds
funny.
amazing.
I mean,
It
eggnog's
is.
at
I'll
the
let you know
store.
when I'm
Let's-
finishing the last bite, so you don't accidentally stop by and have to have some.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably a really good thing that eggnog only comes out, for a limited time.
I told you,
Fall
I've
to
been
winter.
drinking it for a month and a half.
But imagine if it was year round.
I wish it was.
Poolside with eggnog.
Oh man, it's so hot out. It's refreshing nog. Wait, so what is in egg? It's eggs and milk, right? And spice.
Like heavy cream.
Yeah, but the one it's the yolk. That's like
It's just
they
the yolk?
separate
Yeah.
the
Oh,
yolk.
that's the nog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the
So
nog.
like so I forget who was talking about making it. And I was like, I don't think I want to watch this happen because it's
No,
all
you
raw.
drink it.
There's
Well,
no like
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah.
You can drink it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
It's like a more liquid custard, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so you guys are gonna do? You don't know if you're gonna do eggnog drinks.
Well, now that we're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe we should.
I don't want to be out back noggin egg. It's only 2 parts of an egg. I was trying to figure out what the nog of the egg was, right? Yolk, white, nog. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and it may be hard to find a wholesaler too. for
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah, those. Yeah, unless the creamery. I feel like they do like an eggnog.
If any eggnoggers are listening,
Yeah.
Well, I know if,
Hit us
Farm
up.
to Table does an eggnog, so they're also in Woodstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bondo
Yeah,
Canyon.
theirs
So
is
they do an
actually very
eggnog.
good.
I don't know if they only sell it there because they do distribute to like Big Y and the Willamette Co-op. I don't know if they also sell it at those, but they do have it in their little shop there. So
Well,
I don't. It seems like eggnog would be tough to make whole. Like that's a lot, you know.
yeah, and that's the other thing when we have like we try to keep it super limited when it comes to like the syrups and stuff because we have to make them
Yeah.
and like if you have more ingredients and we're having to get more and man staying on top of like inventory
Yeah.
I mean,
It is
you guys got
a lot
to
of work.
cut yourself a break. Yeah, it's been how many months? You guys are
Oh
trying
my
to manage
gosh.
like crowds and
I know.
keeping this in stock. Plus, you create like a demand, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
people want these because they're so good. You're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, we're gonna
Yeah.
pivot to this one now. You know,
Mm.
so that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the events you guys host.
Mhm.
I mean, I was there for Cops for Coffee.
Yep.
Have coffee with a cop.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was their first one ever, which was really
That's
nice.
cool.
Yeah. Is that something you came up with, or did they approach you with
No,
it? Or?
Buddy comes into the coffee shop every morning. He gets
Yeah.
his drip coffee. And we were talking one day. He said, "Hey, like I'd like to, would you be open to doing an event like this? Like we've never done it before, and I'd really like to." And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, let's do it." We were looking at the calendar, and we were going to do it in September. And I was like, "Oh, actually, National like Coffee with the Cop Day is October 2nd. Let's do it that day."
Wow.
So.
Oh, I didn't
So that
know
could be
was
an
a thing.
annual tradition.
Could be an
right there.
annual
That's
tradition.
awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah, we got to meet some people. We had a handful of people come in. He was like, if one person comes in, it's a success. Right?
Yeah.
The bar was set, so we were good.
That's like us. We have one listener.
You did go, didn't you?
I was
You
there.
did?
Yep.
He
yep,
was the
I
one
was there.
person.
That does not surprise me. Was he there all day?
I think that stuff's cool. The community building stuff like that with the police officers, because a lot of the commercial shops and restaurants and coffee shops and stuff, to be unnamed on this podcast, but they don't do anything like
No.
that, right? Because they'd have to get 1,000 waivers and sign
Yeah.
off, and if they have one person in, then someone else is upset.
Yeah.
So we're totally open to all that sort of stuff. It's good outreach for them. They're trying to, I wouldn't say work on their public image, but connect with the community. And
Yeah.
if you're not getting a ticket, like how many opportunities do they get? So this is a good, you know what I mean? Like this is a
If
good.
you ask my wife, I've had plenty of opportunities.
So you got lots of community outreach.
He didn't have to go. He's already met like 5 of them that
He
week.
was required to go.
You probably have talked to my wife.
Like I'm not a police officer, right? So I don't know what it's like, but I could only imagine it's like, hey man, like I'm giving a ticket because you're breaking the law, not because I'm a bad dude. But how many other opportunities you have to meet, like on neutral ground, where it's like
Yeah.
you're not in trouble or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's a cool opportunity for them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when I was there, I mean, the vibe was super. I mean, most of them were in uniform, but it was like still super,
Chill.
like relaxed. Yeah,
Yeah.
chill. I'm
One
not
of them
young
was
enough-
playing with one of the kids on the little like kids area, which
Yeah.
is nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they were just sitting with everybody, and if you had a question, you just asked, and they were like,
Yep.
this is pretty much open books about it, and stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's cool.
a lot of times, any uniform person can be intimidating to
Yeah.
whomever, especially if you've only had bad experiences with them or whatever.
Yep.
So,
Most people do.
yeah. So
Little did they know on Thursday you were off Have
Okay, okay.
required meeting.
One ticket in like 39 years. Well, almost 39 years. Come on. One ticket.
That's not bad.
That's
But
why
they
they let him off.
That's because they could never catch me. Don't watch me do those U-turns.
And Gwilym lives in and goes to every day.
Just kidding.
That's great.
Yeah.
But and it was the Killingly
Yep.
cops, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Killingly Police Department.
Or was there a state cop there? I feel like did he?
I feel like maybe one of them
Well,
came in.
I mean,
like,
they're right.
They
up
come
the street,
in.
Yeah.
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 And Buddy's a retired state
Yep.
police
He's a
officer,
retired
but I think
statey.
they didn't really have the Killingly. So the Killingly cops are like they're back.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that like we had the Danielson borough cops
Yeah.
in like the 70s, I think, and it was some political move to turn them over to from one governed
Oh.
system to another governed system, and then they never got picked back up.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so like there was, they had beat cops in Danielson that
Yeah.
most of them foot or
Yeah.
Buddy-
bike cops. that
Buddy's
kind
on a
of thing.
bike. Isn't he on a bike in the summers or something like that?
Bicycle.
Is that
Bicycle, yeah,
Bicycles,
yeah.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
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 So, and when we used to have the springtime festival, there was always a bunch of bicycle cops.
Mhm.
So
I
don't
feel
know,
like
they-
those are always just for like a presence. I mean, realistically, how like come
Who are
on.
you pulling over
Yeah,
on a bike? Is it-
how fast are you chasing someone?
I'm-
They got to be on foot.
It's-
Kids on
It's not-
scooters are gonna smoke those things
Yeah, that's
nowadays.
right.
Those e-scooters.
Exactly.
Later, bro.
They're not on traffic duty. They're on pedestrian.
know
duty.
that.
Oh, it is funny though. We had a customer that would come in and park on the opposite side, like when you park
Yes.
on Main Street, they would park the wrong way,
Yeah.
the wrong way, and it was always when Buddy was in the morning, and I was like, "You're not on duty right now. Don't say," because he's coming in here to buy coffee. Say
Man,
nothing.
every time I park there, I'm afraid I'm gonna get
A
dinged for
ticket?
jaywalking. And there was a cop coming. I specifically didn't cross and waited till he was.
He's waving you on.
Like, no, that's a trap. Oh, man, it's so funny.
Yeah. No, it was nice. And I mean, like when we talked about the coffee shop and when we were deciding like what kind of space we wanted it to be, we talked about like we want it to be a community space where people can come. And, we've talked a little bit about the third space on our socials, but,
Yeah.
that's really where we want, like our kind of like niche in the coffee market and in this area is that like it's a third space. Your first space is your home, your second space is your job, and your third space is the place that you choose to go to spend your time.
Yeah.
And so holding community events helps open that up, for
Right.
people to come in and do things and meet people that maybe they wouldn't normally meet, especially like with our book club. It's a random group of people that come in and
Yeah.
they get to connect, or they come to the coffee with a cop and they get to meet some of the local police officers or
We have a couple more events and stuff coming up
Yep.
these next couple. Well, the book club's tomorrow, Tuesday. That's our Tuesday book club. Our
our
first day
first
for that.
Tuesday book club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have our Wednesday book club. Not this week.
Nope, that's this week.
Is that
Yeah.
this week? And then we have a couple more events coming up as well too.
Musical bingo.
Music.
Thursday.
Bang bang boom.
We have 4 tickets left, so
What?
Oh,
for a date night.
Nice.
Yeah, we're working with Destination Event. I don't know if you've met them, Tim and Andrea, but they do they do a
Photo booth thing?
Oh, okay.
for the
Oh,
chamber,
okay.
and they're doing a lot of those things, and they do some DJing as well. But they also are getting into doing like musical bingo and that kind of stuff. So I said, yeah, we want to do that. We
Yeah.
talked about doing it, and she was like, oh, we're going to start doing it. I was like, well, sign us up. So she's going to be here at the shop on Thursday night from 6 to 8. We'll have some mocktails.
Nice.
Some other things. So we have musical bingo.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Anything else you want to plug?
Oh, well, book club.
Yeah, market season's coming to an end, so we've been doing Putnam and Coventry every weekend since April, May,
June.
June,
June.
a month. We started it in a month, whatever month that is, June. So that's coming to an end. So we have Putnam and Coventry this weekend,
And
and we
next-
also have.
Next weekend's our last.
Yep.
Is the last Putnam and Coventry for the season.
Yep.
And then we have
then-
Roseland Cottage Fine Arts and
Yep.
Crafts Festivals this weekend.
Oh,
It's
Yep.
usually a cold, windy weekend.
Yep. So we'll be
There
there. We have a double header this weekend. We have 4 markets this weekend.
oh my
Wow.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're getting to
And
the
you
end.
send 150 bags to each?
Yeah, we try to do like 150 bags, so a couple bins worth of coffee for each one of those. So they're prepped. And then whatever's carryover from the markets, we bring to the shop, so we stock it all as retail as well too.
When do you sleep?
Uh,
Or
He
do
drinks
you not
coffee.
because you have coffee?
Got an
So
IV
it's-
line of coffee coming
it's
in.
kind of weird, right? So like before we had all this coffee stuff coming on, I had other hobbies, like race dirt bikes, stuff like that, go fishing. But roasting is fun. I enjoy roasting. I enjoy the end product. I really like roasting new coffees, which we have some new coffees that I'm going to be profiling soon, because that's fun, because it's a whole experience figuring out what it is. But I do really like setting up and helping the shop, like get the coffee, make sure everything's running from, I guess you call it like logistical, that sort of stuff, and helping that. And like having employees is cool as well too. So we're so crazy busy, but we're giving people jobs, we're giving them opportunities. We've created this really cool space. We get to share all our coffee with everyone. So even though we're really busy, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. If I wasn't, then
And- no, it is a cool space. And I remember Coffee with the Cops. I was working, and Brittany came over and busted me about it. Is this all realtors do?
Wow, it's like she knew.
I was like, Kyle would be so proud of you right now.
I was like, did he tell you to say that?
Where is he? Where is he?
Oh man, that's too good.
So then I left and went to the office.
Sure, it's not like we
did.
follow you around.
We're tracking his location.
Oh,
No,
man.
it's an awesome place, and I could totally see, if I sat at a computer all day like someone else in here, I would,
Yeah.
I would definitely see that as a place that you could go and just sit and
Yeah.
and do that, and well,
we get super comfy chairs too.
yeah,
Super
and,
comfy chairs.
Yeah, that little
Yeah.
corner nook is.
yeah.
I'm sure
my
that's like
favorite.
is that the first one taken?
Yeah.
That's the one I sat in when I was like
Do a little people watching.
Yeah.
See who's
Yeah.
coming in and out.
Yeah.
It's nice.
and then it's like nice in the sun. These
Yeah.
brisk mornings, you sit in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's nice.
cats.
Yeah.
Dogs, my dog.
Yeah, no-
dog.
Yeah,
life.
no, our
We're
You have
dog
a
life.
notebook. You can write all your thoughts down. In
Oh
it.
God.
Everything you see.
Man, put a viewer discretion is advised on it after mine.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, the notebook is one of my favorite parts of our coffee shop, I have to say.
Yeah.
We it was like a dog covered notebook, and I was like, oh, this is cute. We'll just stick it here and see what happens. And it's almost like you go to Airbnb
Yeah.
and you write your
They-
experience.
yeah.
People go in there and write their experiences. Someone like hid a poem in it and said like find the poem and add to it. So like further into the notebook, there's a poem that like 4 or 5 people have added to. And
Oh,
it's
that's
just, like,
cool.
It's been really nice. Yeah.
That's neat. Yeah, and then like it fills up, right? And now you
Yeah.
can not
Right.
archive it, but
Yeah.
you can put it out for people to look
Yeah.
at, and you have
Yeah.
another one, and then keep going.
Yeah. It's been
It's
really
just
nice.
cool stuff to look back at.
Yeah, we have the notebook. We have the wall with all the pictures of people's pets, dogs, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. We have the
Yeah.
kids corner with all the artwork, which it fills up all the time. They're always doodling and stuff over there.
Yeah.
That one's like a double-edged sword, though, right? So
Yeah.
it's a space for all the kids because we love, kids. And then like when they're really loud, we don't love them as much. It's a good place for them to hang out.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But it brings in a paying customer, a
Yeah.
mom
Exactly.
that needs a coffee,
man,
and was
like,
like, "Oh, I can hang out here for like
Yeah.
10 minutes and get a
so
drink,
nice.
and they can play, and I can relax." You know.
We've had some people like come in with their kids, and then we have regulars that come in and they've met each other and now like they're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
come in
that's
together
awesome.
now, and their
That's
kids hang
cool.
out and they get to sit and chat, and like it's so nice. That's like, I mean, we used to go to the smoothie bar in New Hampshire, and they had a little kids corner with a little kitchenette and like something else. And that smoothie bar was so expensive. It was like ridiculous, probably like $15 per smoothie.
In New
Yeah.
Hampshire.
Plus like a
Yeah.
$18 avocado toast. But
They were really good.
we
though.
would go because they had
Yeah.
a kids corner, and they would play for 10 minutes, and we could like sit and just relax
breathe.
for a little bit. It was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was
Avocado
worth every
toast. I
penny.
feel like everywhere you go, it's expensive. It's
Oh,
like the minute you put the name on it, they're like, "Yep, upcharge."
Well,
It's really good, though.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
if you
Yeah.
buy 5 avocados, you have 5 hours to eat all of them.
that's right. Exactly.
But it's never. You don't know which hour.
That's
which
right.
would be
Which
right.
one's
You'd be
gonna
like,
die?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't you guys talk about your food? Because you guys do serve some really good
about
food.
avocado toast.
Yeah. So we source our stuff as local as possible. We get all of our pastries from the kitchen at New Boston Beef.
Yeah. And which they're fairly new too.
Yeah.
the Boston beef.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're-
they've been beef farmers for a long time, and they've had their farm for a while, but their storefront is new.
Yeah.
In the last like year or so, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they launched the kitchen last year, and then you were in talks with them like a couple months after that when we were thinking about the shop. So like we're one of the first people to get pastries out of that, out of the kitchen there.
Oh, it
That's
was
awesome.
like it was. Well, I reached out to them because we usually buy a half a cow every couple years.
Yeah.
Well, since we moved, it's only one other time.
Yeah.
And I reached out to them about half a cow, and we were talking, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, if you ever want to sell like bagged coffee at your storefront, let me know. Like, I'll bring a couple bags over. And that started that conversation. And then we were talking about pastries, and she was like, oh, you know, we have someone who's going to be coming here and working for us. And I was like, oh, great. And we were talking, and it ended up being the lady that had been making our kids'
Cakes.
birthday cakes for the last
Yeah.
couple of years. And I was
Oh,
like,
I did
okay,
see
this
that.
is great.
Yeah.
This was meant to be. So they've been great. I mean, especially they were our first wholesale customer that we've worked with
Nice.
with the shop, and you know, we again like had no idea what we were doing,
Yeah.
you know, and what to expect, and you know, we didn't know how much we were going to need, and they have been like so flexible with us because we have no idea.
Because when we were like first launching, I was like, you're buying too many pastries. This is too many. We're gonna throw these all out. We haven't thrown a single pastry out since we've been open.
Well, how many?
Well,
have you
none go
eaten,
to
though?
waste.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
this coffee bar looks like it shouldn't be served.
Yeah,
I'll take
that's right,
it, but
right.
it's a little small. I'll
That's
take it.
defective.
Yeah. I started my winter hibernation early. Eating pastries.
I mean,
But they're
those cinnamon
ridiculous.
buns.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Cinnamon buns. You had
good.
espresso cupcakes.
Oh yeah, those are coming back this week.
Yeah.
We got to rotate them in and out. We added some breads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we do the toffee bar and the
Yeah.
cupcakes to try and change it up a bit.
The
but
toffee
oh
bar
my
is
gosh.
intense, so it's like super dense.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, and then we have I just saw it today when we were dropping it off. We had pumpkin loaf, which was really good, and now I think we have apple pecan,
Yep.
pecan, pecan,
Yeah.
pecan, pecan.
Say whatever you want.
Alright.
I'll just eat
Tomato,
it.
tomato.
Pecan sounds way fancier.
It
Apple
does. Yeah,
pecan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have those this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys are the ones changing it up, or are these recommendations from them?
I just tell her to do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Wow.
and honest, I've made a couple recommendations on like, hey, can we do can we try something with pumpkin, or what do you want to do with
Yeah.
pumpkin and stuff? And the apple scone, I don't know if you had that, the apple pie scone, but I was like, oh, we should do something appley. And she, after she gave them to me, she was like, I don't want to do these again. They didn't come out how I like had wanted them to. They were like a customer favorite, and I was like, you have to make this again. These are really good. I mean, they're all really good, but this one was just phenomenal. And
Yeah.
she uses what's in season. So
Yeah.
if it's apples, like she does something with apples, pumpkin.
She doesn't.
She did something with cherries in the beginning, so it's cherry season. So they try to do everything that's in season too, so that it's fresh.
I mean,
So
that's how
everything. is
we were designed to
amazing.
eat in season.
We were
right?
designed.
Yeah.
We were designed to eat cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
Fancy.
What season is cinnamon bun? Every
Every
season.
season.
It's bark. It's bark. That's the only thing that stays on a tree all the time.
Yeah, that's why it's good for the coffee shop. Lots of bark. We got lots of bark at Two Dogs. Twice the bark.
Yeah, those are.
Pun intended. Two dogs.
Ah, you hit the right button.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm tech
Roasting
savvy.
and comic relief. Yeah, those cinnamon buns are dangerous.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Work a
then-
full shift. I have like 6 of them or something stupid like that.
So we got a review on our Google page or something that was like, I don't even like cinnamon buns, and I bought one, and it was amazing. I was like, why would you buy one if you don't like it?
Who cares? They bought it.
I
now
know
they're
they
hooked.
did.
Yeah.
Now they'll tell their friends.
They're hooked. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
but-
they're great. They've been a great wholesale customer, and just like a good relationship with them, you know, and like we said in the beginning, like trying to figure out how much, you know, we need to order each week. In the beginning, like we ordered a lot because we had no idea.
Yeah.
And now we've been able to kind of figure out like, okay, this is about what we sell each week, and We've increased, especially with the fall. Like the summertime is the worst time for coffee shops. It's the worst time to open a coffee shop. It's the slowest season for coffee shops
Really?
on
Yeah.
top of like the January, February time. But outside of that, the summertime, unless you're in like a
Destination
destination vacation area.
Danielson's not destination.
Hey, we're
make
getting
it.
there.
Yeah.
The podcast is turning things around.
Yeah,
That's
we're
right.
making it.
Bringing attention to our hometown.
But yeah, so they've been able to, go with the flow with us when we've needed an increase, and I pick up there, so I'm usually there a couple times a week picking up
Nice.
pastries and yeah.
Jeez, pastries
And-
and milk.
I try to do it on the same day, but I haven't quite gotten that good
How
yet.
do you fill it
So I'll
all in
do
the car?
Woodstock and the New Boston beef. So
Yeah.
Brittany drives a real truck.
yeah.
Oh.
Not like you.
Mine's still a V8.
I seem to keep hearing this reoccurring philosophy of like managing with freedom. I like that.
Yeah.
That's like seems like it really works out when you like, oh, what do you want? Well, just do what
Yeah.
what you want, what's in season, and
Yeah.
and that's working out. It's pretty cool.
It really has. I mean, we had like an idea of how we wanted things to go, but we also didn't know what we were doing either. So we're kind of like, we have to go with the flow, and that is like really hard for me to do. So it's been a good thing to learn going with the flow, but it's been really easy once I've gotten used to it. Even with like the syrups, we had
Yeah.
Riley, and she was like, I know a lot about syrups. Like, let me take a stab at it. And I was like, all right, I
Yeah.
trust you.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it seems like she's
know?
creating these incredible drinks, right? 'Cause
Yep.
that takes it off of you. You're like,
Yep.
yeah, you just taste them or
I'm like,
whatever.
yeah, I
Yeah.
tasted it. And I'm
And
like,
then the
that
same
sounds
thing
good.
with the pastries,
Mhm.
right? You just put, okay, we'll do what's
Yeah.
in season. Oh, this sold, let's make more of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's huge to
Yep.
be able to not have to try and think about what to sell.
Force
but-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's just-
think we get like we network well and meet good people, and then you kind of just have to trust them to be the expert in whatever it is they're doing. Right.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
are you going to tell the pastry person how to make pastries? Like,
Right.
So we let them run with it and come up with their own ideas, and it all works. We literally haven't thrown out a single pastry. Like we haven't had anything age out or not consumed what we have placed an order for. And that's just telling that everyone's buying the pastries, grabbing them up, or I'm eating them on the off hours. Yeah,
But I mean, I feel like in all the people that I've ever hired or had subs for or whatever, just giving them that creative freedom, I think that always becomes the best product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and
They're happier.
yeah,
Right.
it's just like, and you can
Yeah, they
see
be
it
a
in
part
their
of
work.
it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. And something she thought
Right.
was not good at all,
Mm-hmm.
crushed it, right?
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
I hope you didn't hate making
Yeah.
it because we're
you're
gonna
gonna
want
do it
more.
This one, we'd love to have you around.
Oh, maybe we should make eggnog pastries.
Oh, yeah.
That's-
Oh, jeez, you are.
Listen, eggnog's only here for a short time, and right after Christmas,
Yeah,
it's a hard cutoff of store stuff selling. So you got to get it in before.
I was just gonna say, come January, Kyle's gonna be curled up a ball on the floor. I need my eggnog. Shaking withdrawals. No, that's awesome. It's so cool to see, you guys, making it work and even, should I say, thriving. I feel like
Yeah.
every time I'm in there, it seems like there's, a steady flow of people, and
Yeah.
yeah.
it's really great. It's really great to see because like when you were on here,
Yeah. Yeah.
9 months ago, it was like that daunting task, and now just to see you guys just kind of sitting in it, like, yeah, we went out of our comfort zone, and we're doing,
Yeah,
we're
it w-
doing it.
Yeah,
It
a
was
lot of
scary. And I
pinch me
think.
moments.
Yeah. Go ahead.
A lot of pinch me moments.
Pinch me. Yeah.
Is this one on a podcast?
We need one of those over here.
Oh, no, sorry.
I think we're a good team. We work really hard together on, we have different strengths and skill sets and stuff like that help each other out. And I think like what we kept saying is like the financing was scary, right? Because we were like, well, we don't know if it's going to work, but we kind of just jump into it and just always say like, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like we're going to come up with something, and then we're just going to keep iterating and making that better. So we just can't be scared to try, because if you don't, then you get stuck and you don't do anything,
Yeah.
or you wait until the last minute and don't make a decision. So, and the people that Britt hired, right? I wasn't there for the interviews or any of the training. They're all really great staff, and they help us be really good. I tell them, I like servant leadership philosophy. I don't know if you guys have heard of that before. So servant leadership is where you go and ask your associates, employees, or people that you work with, like, what do you need to be successful? And my job is to help you get that. And I just break down the barriers. So I roast the coffee, but when I'm in the shop, my job is to help my baristas just rock and roll behind the bar,
Yeah.
whatever they need. So I'm running around, take out the trash, wipe down the tables, that sort of stuff. And I own the place,
Right.
but I have
Right.
no problem doing that
Yeah.
because they're making coffees better than I am. So
Right.
why am I going to go, jump over there, get in the way, and screw everything up? I almost said F, but I didn't say it. So like that's at least my philosophy. I think it works pretty well.
Well, plus if do as I say, not as I do, right?
Yeah.
Well, do as I do, not as I say.
Yeah.
If you're wiping tables, you're doing this, they're apt to follow that same
Yeah.
suit
Right.
and have this type of mentality that nobody's above anybody else here. We're all gonna chip in and try and get through
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a team effort
Yeah.
for every customer's
Yeah.
product
Yeah.
Yeah.
and service. So
Yeah, and they tell me when I mess up on the POS system as well. Too. Did you put a name on that one? I was like, sorry, 40-year-old ADHD. Totally forgot. But they're all rock stars there, so we're really grateful to have them too.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome. Well, I can't thank you guys enough for coming on.
Yeah.
This was great. I'm so glad we got to have Brittany this
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Really adds to things. No offense, Gwilym. And here's to many, many more
Yeah.
years
Cheers.
of success to you
Caffeine-free
guys.
cheers.
Put a little Bailey's in here.
So, yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us Monday night, October 21st, when we go live with the Posh Potty. Yes, designer porta potties. Great for your next event. Just no more plastic porta potties if you don't want them.
Wow, I can see the picture from here. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a real bathroom. It has
Oh.
electricity and everything.
That's really
Yeah.
nice.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try it out.
Yeah, these are
Test
these are serial entrepreneurs, Brittany and Reagan. I've worked with them in real estate world, and we've become good friends. And now they're doing this as well. It's can't wait to hear all about it because
Yeah, it's amazing.
They do property management and
Yeah. So if you guys do events,
It's so funny. We were
Beautiful bathroom.
we were just at the Renaissance Fair in Massachusetts, and like before we're going to leave,
Yeah.
there's like this corral of the traditional style porta
Yeah.
potties, and they were suspect.
yeah.
So I would much rather use that posh potty
right.
on this posh potty. Than one of those things. Hey,
there you go.
sorry.
Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days.